Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Popping the Popcorn. I'm your host, Katie, and today I'm here with one of my good friends, D, the Movie Man, and he has a YouTube channel, and it's really awesome, and he does movie and show reviews. How you doing, D?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy Sunday.
Yes, happy Sunday.
It's been a crazy day so far, but hey, I'm trying. You know what I mean?
That's the best. Hey, that's all you can do.
Right? It's one of those days where I just want to crawl back into bed.
Definitely.
You know, and but other than that, it's been a good day so far.
Good.
So we have two viewers so far. So D, how did you start making your YouTube channel? Hey Mike, happy Sunday.
Hey. So as far as my channel, I've kind of mentioned this maybe a couple of times. I think I recently did like a retrospective video where I was kind of going over my kind of YouTube journey. And I would say like people were asking me for years about doing a YouTube channel because I always would talk about movies. I would show people trailers. I would have movie nights. I like film has always been a significant part of my life. And so people said like YouTube, you should do a YouTube. But for many reasons, including the structure of how YouTube was at the time, I didn't really feel compelled to do it, and I wasn't confident, didn't feel like anyone would be interested, so on and so forth. So finally, it was May 2020, which is several years. People were asking me like back in like maybe 2010. So this is like a decade after the fact. But
Right.
it was around May of 2020 that I decided I didn't really have any excuses. And so I just kind of worked through the steps. I'm like, what is my name going to be? I figured Movie Man has always been my nickname for a lot of people, and then a part of my name, is the letter D. So I was like, okay, let's just do D Movie Man. Everyone calls me the Movie Man, so kind of do that as kind of a play on words, and so I went from there. I asked people about, I got a lot of feedback, and because I can be very in my head and very analytical, so I was just like, let me work through how to put this together. And I started off just by doing recaps of the HBO series Insecure, just to be comfortable. I didn't tell anyone about the channel. I was like, let me just get comfortable with being in front of the camera and speaking and not worrying about who's watching, so to speak, because I know that no
Right.
one really knows me or knows this channel. And from there, I went on to do, my first trailer reaction, and then did, I just kind of slowly expanded to, trailer reactions, got comfortable with that. Then now let's do movie reviews, and then now let's do TV reviews, and then I just kind of opened up from there. So that's kind of been the journey, so to speak.
Gotcha. Yeah, and your videos are really cool, and everybody should check them out because there goes John in the comments. Hey John.
Hey, John, hey, everybody.
um, and uh, and I think your videos are really cool. I know it probably takes a long time for you to edit them, but like the backgrounds you do are really interesting. And so do you just like randomly like pick a movie, or do you just like just go with like what's popular at the time?
That piece I'm actually still working through. I think in the beginning I was just kind of working through everything that was upcoming and more so what's popular. I think as I've gone on, I've kind of
Okay.
realized that I have, hey Dan, as I've gone on, I've realized that maybe kind of branching away from mainstream might be my lane. Like, foreign and independent and just certain things that are off the grid. I think I'm getting more into that. So I've gotten a little more choosy because I realize if I do back to back to back, you can burn out very quickly. So I'm trying to really consider like what do I really want to put my attention towards and my energy towards as far as what to edit and what to just what to highlight on my channel. And I think a lot of it now, as far as what I'm thinking, are just films I've really really enjoyed or have a piece that I want to highlight or that I think people don't know enough about, and people should just watch and see for themselves. So that's kind of where I am there.
Gotcha. John saying what's a film that's coming out this year you both are looking forward to, and one or just aren't too excited for.
So you want to go first or me?
Okay. So I'm looking forward to the Doctor Strange, the multiverse movies. just because I like Doctor Strange as the Marvel like characters and stuff like that. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters. So I'm looking forward to that movie. And there's a couple others, but I can't remember the name of them on the top of my head.
Yeah, I would say Death on the Nile. I've been ready for Death on the Nile since like 2020. That was actually no, that was my. I believe that was my either my second or third trailer reaction. So I have been waiting for that. I enjoyed Murder on the Orient Express, so I am ready for Death on the Nile. And then because I'm interested in the lane that Jordan Peele is in, I'm really interested in seeing Nope. I really want to know what that's about. Like ever since I saw that poster, I just want to know what's going on with that particular film. And as far as something I'm not too keen on seeing, trying to think. Trying to think. Well, it's not that I'm not keen on seeing this, but my excitement for Morbius has kind of gone down because it's like they keep pushing it. And Jace, hey Jace, Jace
Hi,
had a great
Jace.
video about why they might be doing that. So if Jace's theory is true, then I'll be more excited. But for now, I'm worried that we're going in the vein of the New Mutants that kept getting pushed, and then in the end, it was a disaster. So hopefully that's not the
Yeah,
case.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, Jace. I agree with you. It's gonna be crazy, but I can't wait for it. I just want to see if it's kind of like that Spider-Man movie Into the Spider-Verse, if it's something like that, or if it's gonna be like something completely different.
Right.
Hi, Joe, who calls me
Hey,
Sarah all
Joe.
the time,
My bro, Joe.
and
Hey, thank you.
Al
I
saying that
appreciate it.
that's my friend Al.
Yeah, I've been connecting with Al lately. Good to see you, man.
Al's awesome. He's one of my best friends.
Yeah, that's cool.
Here's a question: name an either a book or a video game you both like that. I don't know. That's a hard one.
Okay, I
It,
think I have something.
what is
I would
yours?
say ever since I was really young, I would say one of my favorite childhood books, and it's just a great book in general. But there's a story called Mafaro's Beautiful Daughters. It's
Oh, I read
almost.
that.
Have you read that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a beautiful book, and even as a child, of course, me being black, of course, it just gave me such a different lens as far as Africa, and of course Africa is a continent, but just a glimpse of what of the landscape and the culture and the people and the history, like all of that. And so
Mhm.
I always thought that would be such a compelling story because it's almost like a Cinderella story, but with like a kind of like a significant twist to it, and how it gets
Mhm.
into all this magic and like there's just a lot that can be done with
Right.
that story. So I would really really love to see Mafaro's Beautiful Daughters.
Mine would be there's this book called Fade. There's Fade, Awake, and I forget what the other book. It's a 3 series book by an author that's unknown. And
Mm-hmm.
what it is this girl could go into your dreams and know what's on your mind and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And it's just like a really interesting book. Um and she just like kind of helps, and this stuff starts happening, and she went into somebody's dream that she wasn't supposed to go into, and they kind of like that movie with Tom Hanks and Holly Berry, I think it was that one movie where they're like reincarnated type of thing.
Oh, Cloud Atlas.
Yeah, so they're like it's like reincarnation or something like that. And that would be like kind of cool to like see, like she wasn't supposed to go in his dream, so now they're on this like course together, what's going to happen because they found each other again, and it's just really interesting.
That sounds
And Jace
good.
is saying he's glad you used his theory.
Oh, of course. Jace always comes through with some good stuff. So yeah, I had to shout it
Yeah,
out.
it does. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing, and I'm fine with that. I think as we go on, I'm more content with knowing less about certain films, and I hope we kind of get back to that because I think I mentioned in my No Way Home video that marketing nowadays is just like I think this nature of spoiling everything to get people to come see films. I'm not into that. So
Right. Yeah. And then Dan saying great theory. And then excited, nope. And then I hope y'all don't mind getting in more information, nope, until it comes out. Yeah,
yes, yeah.
I I agree. And then hi Terrence, how are you? I hope
Hey,
you're doing
Karen.
well. Um, I don't. And then Dan saying he's excited for Mobius. I don't really know too much about that movie, so I can't say what it is, because I don't know anything too much about that one. And then, what's your general thoughts of Game of Thrones? I'm actually excited for it. I read all the books, so I actually really like her anyway. So it's gonna be interesting. I just hope they don't do what they did in the last season of Game of Thrones because that really made me mad.
Yeah, I think there's a lot I think there's a lot of maybe lowered expectations because of how Game of Thrones ended. However, I really do enjoy the world. I enjoy the characters. There's a lot that can be done with that. And unlike a lot of people, I really appreciate a good prequel series or film when it's done well because it's interesting seeing like a certain universe before certain events happen or before certain characters came into focus. So I'm excited. I am anxiously excited, but still excited.
Right. Currently, the Great season 2 is on Hulu. Hasn't I've never seen that one.
I did not get to start The Great. I think I meant to start it. I don't know if it was last year, and I got thrown off of watching it. But as soon as I saw the marketing for it, I absolutely was here for it. And even Catherine the Great, I've been learning more about. I'm actually reading a book about her, and it's kind of like this historical fiction story about this spy who works in the palace and is kind of helping her as she is moving into her rise to power. But no,
Right.
I haven't seen it yet. But I've heard great things. I enjoy, the actors involved. So yeah, I'll definitely have to give you my thoughts once I watch it.
Right. And Mike's asking, what was your biggest letdown movie?
Ugh. Um, like ever, because there are a few of those.
Um,
Um, you can go, Katie.
Mike, do you mean this year? Or, I mean, from last year or just ever? I'm not sure what you mean. But I did not like The Eternals. That movie was a letdown for me this last year.
Yeah, I would say if we are going with this past year, I would say Venom: Let There Be Carnage was a shockingly bad movie to me, and this is coming from someone who enjoyed the first one in a so bad it's good type of way. But when I walked into that theater and I watched Carnage, I was like, oh, this I'm just gonna have a good time. I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, it was like the longest 90 minutes of my life. It was painful. So
Right.
that was probably mine because I didn't even have high expectations, and it was just such a
Right.
frustrating slog of a film.
Right. Like, I've seen a lot of people saying that they liked it better than the first one, but I actually like the first one. I haven't seen the new one just because I
Right.
haven't been to the movie theater in a while. So I was just like, huh, I don't, you know. And have you had a hard time believing you wouldn't
No.
adore the great? Yeah, I need to check that out.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'll really enjoy it.
And Al saying internals is meh. Oh, okay. What we can remember. That's what Mike's saying. And
Oh
then he
yeah,
goes, I was gonna watch Eternals today. Mike, watch Eternals today. Watch it and so that way you know what everybody's talking about. I just think there's just too much going on in that film. That's the
yeah,
only reason why I did not like it. Because there's too many superheroes, too many backstories, so many and it was just so confusing.
yeah. No, I think I appreciated the vision of it, and I appreciated a lot of aspects of it. I thought it was like really compelling and really interesting. And I think the problem maybe is that it's a film that's setting up a lot. So because it's cramming so much in and setting up so much, it's hard to kind of enjoy it as just kind of a straightforward film. So
Right.
there were aspects I enjoyed, but as a complete film, it was more of a mixed bag. The
Yeah.
execution of it was more so the issue.
I love the cinematography in the movie. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
absolutely.
But you know, what was the underrated film of 2020? One that flew under most people's radar, but everyone should see, I think, is Red Rocket. I haven't seen it.
I actually wanted to see Red Rocket. I still have to watch Red Rocket. But let's see, an underrated film in 2021. Trying to think of one. I would say Shiva Baby probably flew under a lot of people's radar. That
I
was a
haven't seen that one
really
either.
Yeah, that was a really unique film. So I can't say too much about it because it has a very specific type of story that I don't want to spoil. But Shiva Baby was very, very unique. So I think people should probably check that one out.
Mine was Encanto because everybody didn't like that movie. A lot of people didn't like Encanto, so I say Encanto is an underrated Disney movie just for me because that's the only new movie besides The Eternals that I've seen that has been released out of the movie theater because I haven't been back to the movie theater since the whole pandemic. So to me, Encanto, because everybody said it's like a mixed bag, or however you say that movie, Encanto, and so the biggest letdown for me was the new Scream. Huh. Interesting.
Oh,
Everybody's
didn't
saying,
know like he was expecting. I had some issues with it. I'll just say that. I'm probably going to do a review on it, but I will say I could see some flaws with it. I'll just say that.
wow, everybody's saying they didn't like Eternals.
Yeah, I didn't dislike it like everyone did, but I could just see where the outcome and just kind of the final product was it was just too much being kind of
Yeah.
stuffed into one film, and it kind of diluted the effect of it overall.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. Thanos is the best villain. He's like a villain though. He's one of the best villains in the Marvel universe.
I think it's one of those things where Thanos is technically a villain, but he's a villain that people understand because of what his goal was in the end. I think a lot of people can understand that to some extent. It doesn't justify everything that he did, but I think a lot of people can understand him. So in a way, that some people kind of see him as a hero.
Right. So that movie gave you anxiety, John?
Yeah, there's a lot with that one.
Yeah, I want to check it out. It looks good. And then John saying, I think the tide has run with Encanto, though. Even if you are on social media, everyone loves Encanto. I've seen some people that didn't like Encanto. But yeah, well, that's like any Disney movie, really. They all have hi video tasties. How are you? Everybody has that though, you know. It's the same thing with like Luca. Everybody had a run with Luca as well. But that's a good movie though. I really liked Luca though.
Yeah, and I do agree, John, that it has a great batting average. Absolutely agree with that.
I
And
think
well, I can't say a lot, but yeah, it's my thoughts on Scream are not negative, but I'm a balanced guy, so I could see some things that I wish were different, but overall,
right.
it was pretty solid film overall.
I think Scream 5 was impressive. The Scream, yeah, I like the first Scream the best. All the other ones are okay to me, but I'm not a sequel or a prequel type of person, so that's why. But I want to see Scream 5 just to see if Sydney's the killer or if it's Dewey.
Right.
I want to find out who the killer is this time. I'm not negative on the new Scream either. Okay, Dan, that tells me a lot. I need to. Yeah, you need to catch up on your Disney flicks. Ow.
Yeah, I definitely. If this means anything, I thought it was significantly better as a horror sequel compared to Halloween Kills. Because if anyone has seen my Halloween Kills review, you know that I had a lot to say about how that film was.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yes.
So what's your favorite movie? Like, what's a movie that you can watch over and over again? Like a favorite movie that you can watch over and over again?
I would say there are a lot of those, but if I just had to throw out one, I really love Memoirs of a Geisha.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, Memoirs of a Geisha. That film is like visual art, and like I will never get tired of. And there are so many shots and so many scenes. Like I could like pluck so many scenes and shots from that film and just throw them on my wall. The costume design, the score, which I've had that score on. I've owned that score since like 2005. I think that's when the film came out. I have loved the score. I love the actresses. Like I love almost every aspect of that film, and I never really get tired of it. And it's one of those films, like a lot of films that I love, where once I get to the end, I'm sad because it's like,
Right.
man, I've enjoyed the journey, and I know this is the end. But Memoirs of a Geisha is a beautiful film.
That's such a beautiful and art. I love the art in that film. It's the cinematographer is so beautiful in that movie. He or she did a great job. I don't know who the cinematographer is in that movie because I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm just saying, it's a really good one. And he's
Yeah,
saying, and John saying, "Killer is King Bowser from Super Mario Brothers." I was dumbfounded.
of course.
Evil dies tonight. Yeah, Evil dies tonight. Hi Ricky, how are you? You know
Hey,
Ricky?
yeah.
What's going on, Ricky? What time is it? Evening over there? I think it's evening over there. He's over in the UK. I think it's evening over there. But yeah, one of my favorite movies is Goodfellas. I can watch that all the time. I like Martin Scorsese films.
Yeah, I have to get more into Martin Scorsese's films because I think because I was too young to watch a lot of them because of the content. So now, as an adult, I'm getting more into them. I watched, I think it was Casino not that long ago, and so getting
Oh,
more into kind of crime and gangster flicks because it's not my favorite genre, but I'm learning to appreciate some of the films in that genre. Though Casino was pretty cool.
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was right. It's evening there. It's 5 p.m. Um, I've never seen Memoir. Oh, Terrence, you have to check that out. It's so good.
Yes, I love that one.
What's the next film you guys are gonna watch? I don't know because I watch a lot of streaming services, so I don't even know.
I was going to try to catch the Kingsman today, well, actually, it wasn't today. I think it was tomorrow, but it started snowing, so we'll see if the roads are even going to be clear enough for me to go see that. But the Kingsman is what I'm hoping to see next. I wanted to see that, and the holidays kind of threw off when I was going to see that. So,
Right. I
hoping
want
to
to
see.
see it. It looks like a good film. The new one. I thought. Oh, talking to video tasties. Yeah. Yeah.
Dan, you and me are here.
Well, Dan, you haven't seen a lot of the older movies, so he's giving your link.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
so what films are you guys most hyped for 2022? I'm hyped for the new Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, my hype is building for that one because of who could potentially appear. I'm trying to kind of like block that out because I'm going to be irritated well, I don't want to say I'll be irritated, but I think that with WandaVision, this whole theory about, Mephisto and, certain characters showing up and then all of those theories just kind of went out the window and then everyone was upset. But because
Right,
I had no idea about any of that stuff, there was no room for me to be disappointed or frustrated like that.
right.
So yeah, so I'm excited for it, but I hope like people don't go too overboard with pushing the theories and all that because then it may flatten the experience when it never was meant to be, I guess, what people might be thinking. So we'll see.
I don't know what that is, John. I
Oh,
haven't.
he's just saying the fact that in 2021 we got so many shows and so many movies that were all Marvel centered and just feeling kind of tired and just kind of like overloaded from the Marvel stuff.
Oh, I read that wrong. Sorry, my bad. I have dyslexia, so I read stuff wrong all the time.
Oh no, you're good.
Still
I was
haven't.
going to say that as far as that, I had already kind of started to kind of disconnect from Marvel just a little bit because I think it has been an overabundance and it is kind of overload. And I think a
Right.
lot of them are solid shows, but I think I got halfway through Loki and I realized that I wasn't connecting to it. And so I was
Hmm.
like, let me just step back for a minute and let me, just give myself some time away. And then I just saw Spider-Man No Way Home, saw a couple other films and finally, I'm coming back to it. But
Right.
I think with both the movies and the TV shows,
Hmm.
I think it is a bit much. I think less is more, and I think us
Yeah.
getting so much
Yeah.
is
I think that's what a lot of people are saying. And even the hardcore like Disney fans like me are even like this is way too much, because even Mike's saying that, and he's a hardcore Disney fan as well, and he's saying that's why Infinity War was the best one.
Infinity War was excellent, and even outside of the ending and Thanos winning, spoiler if anyone just so happens to not have seen it in all this time, but I feel like narratively there were just so many interesting dynamics between the characters and from the storytelling, along with the action and the set pieces and all that. And I think that if we're going to go forward, we have to figure out ways to kind of make this more innovative and go in different directions with these characters. That's why I'm hoping Multiverse of Madness is a step in the right direction. But yeah, I think there's only so many times, even people who love Marvel can only see it kind of remixed, in one, remixed only so many different ways before it gets kind of tiresome.
Exactly. Yeah. I peeked at. Yeah, I want to see Black Panther as well to see what they do with it. After Chadwick Boseman passed away, I want to just see like how different it's going to be. I know it's going to be a different feel, but I still want to just see what it is.
Right.
And dancing, he loved the MCU. Or a few times last year, I felt, yeah, like I couldn't get into what was it? I mean, like I like Captain America. He's my favorite superhero out of the MCU, but I just couldn't get I just couldn't get into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts of the future? Oh, I'm excited for the future of Star Wars because there's so many things that they're doing with Star Wars now. I'm excited. I love the Book of Boba Fett. Here goes a hot take. I actually like it better than the Mandalorian.
Mm. Yeah, for me, Star Wars is always fun. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see more narratives, and it looks like we're getting them. But I'm excited to see more narratives that are not obviously Skywalker focused, or aren't even focused, necessarily that close to that saga. Because oh my gosh, Knights of the Old Republic, and then Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. Both of those games were like, it was almost like playing. Like I felt like I was inside of a Star Wars like film almost, but just like this massive overarching story and all these interesting characters and these plot twists. I think that looking at stories like that, and then also I read the Darth Bane Path of Destruction trilogy, where you see the rise of this Sith Lord and how he completely reshapes, the Sith empire and all of that, and with the rule of two and all that. So I think there are a lot of directions to go in as far as the stories that are told that are not just the Republic and just the dark side and the Skywalkers. So
I'm actually excited for the Ahsoka movie or show, whatever they're gonna do with her, because she's my favorite character in Star Wars. Just because I like what she stands for and everything, and she was Anakin's Padawan. But it's just interesting how she's gonna pop up somewhere. And Ricky saying he can't stand superhero movies. I prefer the Action Ground one. Bring on Expandables 4. I actually like that franchise, the Expandables.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch those, but I do think that it does make you kind of miss just kind of grounded action that isn't just about superpowers and that aspect of it. It can be fun, but if you see too much of something, you don't have a chance to miss it. So,
Terrence, you don't like Star Wars? Wait, hold on. Y'all are commenting way too fast. I didn't like Rise of Skywalker either. I don't think anybody did. And John saying that's a hot take.
Yeah, see, I still need to watch Boba Fett. I watched, still going through The Mandalorian. I actually agree, Terrence. Unlike a lot of people, I actually enjoy The Phantom Menace. Yes, I see the issues with it, but I enjoy those significantly more than the sequels, and even maybe compared to Attack of the Clones. I know that's probably a hot take also, but there's a lot about Phantom Menace that I actually enjoy.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like Phantom Menace. I'm okay with that one, but my favorite is the third one when Anakin turns into Darth Vader,
Yeah,
because I just love that scene with him and Obi-Wan Kenobi where the volcano or whatever they're in is just like erupting and they're like fighting. I want to see the new Star Wars special, not the Lego one. That one I don't think's anywhere. I don't think you can find that one anywhere.
I'm sure for a reason if that's the case.
Rise of Scott, yeah, that was a huge disappointment. I did not like it, and hot take, I don't really like Kylo Ren. I think he's a whiny baby.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I agree, John. There is so much you can do. Actually, was just one of my friends, Anthony A. Perez. He just made a community post saying, like, if you could be an extra in any film, what would it be? And I said Star Wars because, and of course, we're just talking about the production side of things. But even as an extra, you could show up as any of 20 different species of alien. You could be a bounty hunter in the background. You could be a merchant. You could be, a Sith acolyte. Even as an extra and being a part of that, you could be so many different types of characters. So, of course, when you're creating a story set within Star Wars, and even if you've read any of the, I guess what's now known as the Legends, the Star Wars books, they've created some really like unique and fun stories there. So I would love to see those here.
I just started reading those ones, actually. They're really fun to read. How many times do we have to go to Tatooine?
That's a good question. I mean, Tatooine is fine, but I feel like we have places like Manan and, Bespin, and even there are so many planets to explore in Star Wars. And I think that's probably one of my favorite parts of Star Wars is getting into these specific cultures and cities and, and environments in these different planets. Right. I think that's cool.
I'm thinking about doing a video breaking down all the Star Wars like planets and stuff and like what the people do there and stuff like that. I found a lot of stuff like that, so I might be doing something like that. I don't mind Rise of Skywalker, but I was only it once. Yeah. A lot of people aren't really Star Wars fans. I mean, like they are, but they're not, so it can go both ways.
Yeah.
Bring on the nostalgic. I don't mind Tatooine at all. The big issue is with the sequel. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely agree. It's like we just needed one fluid story, not each director throwing something different at the screen and then trying to, retcon and fix. And yeah, no.
Videos Tasties is asking, what director's cut do you want to see?
Maybe this is. I could think of probably more unique ideas for this, but I am somewhat interested, and I don't know if we'll ever see it, but I'm interested in seeing what I believe it's Dave Ayers cut of Suicide Squad before all the I guess the studio interference, because if you look at that first trailer for Suicide Squad and you look at the second, they are very, very different. So
right, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say because there's so many movies I like and stuff like that. I don't know what cut I would want to see. And I was asking.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, and also I would say a good example of a director's cut is X-Men: Days of Future Past, the Rogue cut. That film, and you would think that it wouldn't be that significant, but that almost felt like a very different film just from the changes they made with the directors, with including certain characters, and yeah, that was really, really good. Right. So
yeah, and I was asking, do you collect physical media, or if so, what's your favorite format?
Yes, I haven't collected as many lately, but yes, I'm actually looking right now at like a stack of Blu-rays that I've collected over probably prior to the Ponderosa, as I call it. I've probably collected a good amount within the past couple of years. So yeah.
Yeah, I was a huge collector. He has a lot of stuff. And John's saying, as the park goes, I would like to see Bot 2 in Disneyland. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I know they've done a couple of commercials on it.
Yeah, like just open it up. Whatever you want to throw at it, I'm here for it.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Tara, how are you? Good to
How
see
you doing,
you.
Sarah? What's your favorite thoughts on Black Rain? Um, I- Ridley Scott films to me, I don't really like them because I didn't like Prometheus or Alien too much, so don't really like Ridley Scott movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen Black Rain, but I'm still going through Ridley Scott's filmography. I did enjoy The Last Duel immensely. Had some issues with House of Gucci, but and then I really enjoy Blade Runner. So I have to get more into his filmography because from what I'm hearing, it looks like he can be very hit or miss.
He can, he
Yeah.
can. Like I mean, like I like some of his films, but some of them I do not like. I want to see How to Gucci actually. For you both, what project are you guys currently working on, or what's up next? So for me, I'm working on the Pirates of the Caribbean. Remember, I had the Pirates of the Caribbean on my Insta story. So I'm working on those. So I'm gonna be watching those the next couple of weeks and doing different things with each of the film, like figuring out like some facts about them and stuff.
Yeah, I am hoping to dive into more rankings because that's something I wanted to
Hey,
do
TJ.
last year and I didn't get to do it. So I'm thinking about doing. People had already asked about that costume drama ranking, so I would definitely be doing that. I'm struggling figuring out whether top 6 or top 7 is a good ranking number. So someone please tell me what you think about that. Whether I should do top 6 or top 7. Thinking about doing something really fun with Jumanji and then getting more into flashback or throwback reviews and things like that. And because I just saw Scream last night, I'm probably going to knock out a review for that really quickly. And then finish out this season of Insecure, which is but I still have some recaps to finish for that.
Who do you think the wrong Birdie of Sima is an artist you feel that gets way too much praise? What
Um, I'll say if we're just talking from you said artist, so I'm just gonna go with for me an actor. Um, I don't really understand the I don't really understand the popularity of Channing Tatum or John Cena. To me, they are like one and the same. I cannot, I can't bring myself to really get into them. It's mm-mm.
right?
And then an actress. I uh, I am not the biggest Tessa Thompson fan. I enjoyed her as Valkyrie in Thor Ragnarok, but I think to me she's just okay in a lot of the
Right.
things she does. I think there are other actresses I've seen that could do more with the material that she's given in some of the projects she's ended up in.
Right. Yeah. For me, I have to go with um I would have to go with I don't really like a lot of Matthew McConaughey movies, even though that he's like an A-lister, but he gets way too much praise sometimes, I think. He's just
Yeah.
like his movies are hit or miss. I mean, like a lot of people like him, but I don't know. There's just something about him. And then for director, I think it's Christopher Nolan. I mean, like I like his films, but he gets
Mhm.
way too much praise for his films sometimes, I think. Because I did not like his last film, whatever
Oh,
that
Tenet.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, Tenet was not it for me, and I got really irritated watching that one. I appreciate elevated cinema, but there are times where I'm just like, okay, like this is not. I know what you want this to be giving, but it's not giving that. So yeah, Tenet was not it for me either.
Um John saying Tom Holland.
Yeah, I can see that. He's fine to me, but I'm starting to see. I think certain actors work within a lane, so I think Tom Holland as Spider-Man slash Peter Parker, cool. But I think now that seeing him in Uncharted and coming from someone who's only kind of played Uncharted with one of my friends, and watching it,
Mhm.
as we've played together, I'm very confused about what his future is going to be because I don't him in Uncharted. I'm confused about that. And then I believe that film was called is it Chaos Rising or That film that he just did with Daisy Ridley, a lot of people said that was horrific, and then I don't know how
Oh,
the film Cherry was received. So yeah,
I
I can see
didn't.
it with Tom
I
Holland.
didn't like that one with Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland. That movie was a little weird.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And she was like the only girl, and it was just like, I don't even know. And also they had Nick Jonas in that movie, and I was
Yeah.
just
Oh,
like,
it was excuse me, it was Chaos Walking. That was the film.
yeah. And Nick Jonas is in there, and I was like, what are you doing in here? You know.
Right, exactly.
And Dan's telling John to get out because of the Tom Holland thing. Hey, Wolf.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Hey, TJ. Have a good day. Thank you. I liked her in Creed, the Creed movies.
Yeah, I think when she's good, she's good. But I think for the amount of times that I've seen her, I just have seen other actresses that could have just kind of done more with what she brings to certain films, like Passing, for instance.
Right. They're gonna fight John. Ricky was like, "You gonna fight?"
I agree. No low blow.
Yeah, Chaos Walking. Yeah, I didn't like that. What's the most annoying cliche to you in cinema?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
do you have one?
No.
Okay, so mine is I do not like how romance is often covered in I guess Hollywood romance. I don't like I love yous after 2 or 3 days. And I don't even like how I love you is kind of thrown out as this kind of like, oh, I love you. I feel like there are so many levels of how you feel about a person. You know, I care for you, or I'm kind of feeling you, or I feel like there's a lot as far as the what is that word? As far as the progression or the journey in a relationship, and I just don't
Mm.
like how with romance, it's I don't know.
Yeah.
Often it's just constructed in such a goofy kind of like, oh, we're in love, you know, type of way. I can't stand that, and then I also can't stand when in sex scenes you have people like throwing each other across the wall and all this
Right.
stuff. Like, stop. Like, yeah, it's annoying. I don't
Right.
like
And
over.
John's
Yeah,
saying the same thing as you.
yeah.
The L word. Just throwing out too much. He's saying the same thing.
Oh, see, John, you and me are on the same page. Yeah, like it's just like there's too much that goes into the a relationship or even a situationship or getting to know somebody, and no one just jumps to love. There are so many shades of gray, and I don't like that the shades of gray don't get depicted. So
Right. And then Al's being funny. He goes, every time I hear Jonas, I think of the Stevie Wonder performance when the one where they shouted out, "Take it, Stevie."
oh, I gotta watch that.
And Giggles is saying Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. See, I knew I was forgetting somebody. Jennifer Lawrence, no, 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 no. I cannot do it. Especially after the complete bastardization of Mystique in these recent X-Men films. Absolutely not. I cannot. And I'm not going to say what I could say, but also
Yeah.
analyzing her rise to fame and what that may have been connected to, I got a lot of problems with that. I know that's not a nice thing to say, but
Yeah, I don't really care for Jennifer Lawrence either. When they did the Hunger Games, I read the books and I was thinking of somebody else and I wasn't thinking about her, you know.
yeah,
I was thinking of like somebody else, somebody different, and they put her in there and I don't think she messed well with Katniss.
right. Now I still have to see the Hunger Games, but I can understand that.
Uh Even though it happened in West Side Story, love is more of Romeo and Juliet story.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw West Side Story, and that was kind of awkward too. But I do understand that Romeo and Juliet, it is kind of about the dangers of young, passionate
Mhm.
love and kind of the consequences of that. So I can appreciate it, but it was awkward. Like, ooh, didn't
Right.
y'all just meet each other?
I
So
haven't seen the new West Side Story, but I want to.
yeah,
And Jace is saying, "Preach it." Hey Nora, how are you?
thank you, Jace.
Have a good night, Ricky. Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence and Brie Larson. I like Brie Larson. I don't have a problem with Brie Larson.
I didn't like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, and I haven't had the chance to see her much outside of that. So unfortunately, that's kind of my only
Oh,
reference.
she was really good in this movie called Room. But
Right.
if you're not like that person to watch that kind of thing, I wouldn't recommend it, because that movie is about like it's really intense, and it's
Oh no,
about
the story. Yeah, it's a really messed up story. That's actually partly why I hadn't watched it at the time. But I can, as long as I prepare myself, I can watch things like that. So I did want to, because I remember she won her Oscar for that. So I still have to watch that one.
right. Jennifer Lawrence has an Oscar too, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't, that movie that she got an Oscar for was okay, you know. How's everyone? We're good. How are you doing, Nora? Uh, D, I'm curious at how did Jennifer Lawrence climb up to fame?
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely can't go into detail because I don't want to be, I don't want to be offensive, and I don't want to, put anything on blast. But it's very, very obvious if you pay attention, and that's all I'm going to say.
Right. And then Terrence is asking, are there any underrated gems we should check out?
Yes, I actually did I did a top 3 hidden gems video, so check that out if you are interested. But one film that I really enjoy, El Orfanato, also known as The Orphanage. It is a Spanish language horror film. It's directed by J.A. Bayona, and it stars Belen Rueda, and it is this very unique take on horror. Like, I'm a big horror, I mean, I enjoy horror in general, but I grew up and still read a lot of horror stories, and something about that film just screams like this is like a horror story come to life, and unraveling the mystery, and just kind of getting into the dark legacy that's at the center of this home and in this house, and things that have happened and how that unravels. So if you have not seen The Orphanage slash El Orfanato, please check that one out.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I say this is an old one, but the Budapest Hotel I say is a hidden gem. That's like a really good movie.
Hmm.
If you
Yeah,
haven't seen it, it's an older one, but it's good. It came out like 3 or 4 years ago, but that's a good hidden gem movie.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on bad movies like Troll 2 or The Room?
Um, I think that there's a lane for those because, like I said, I mean, Venom is not the same thing as The Room or Troll 2, but I think I've gotten to the point where something can be bad, but I love the entertainment of it. Like, I love the just kind, I don't know, like, you can have fun with it. Everything doesn't have to be quality cinema and so lofty, and
Right,
like, sometimes we get in, I don't know, there can be this hierarchy of how film should be, and sometimes even dumb silly films can have their lane, and there are a lot of films that I've enjoyed that have been just that, like these. So
right. Yeah, I agree. Hey, at least it's not like the movie we watched the other day, Al. Lake Fear. Don't watch that. It's on Tubi. Don't watch it.
oh no, yeah, but I need to watch you guys' reviews because
Don't, don't watch that.
yeah,
It was awful.
yeah, I had a feeling.
What is a movie, good or bad, that you guys would have on the background as you clean it or cook?
Ooh, there's probably a few of those, but I would say one that, especially, I think when I first bought it, and for a long time, but whenever I would clean, I would put on "Girl with the Pearl Earring"
I've
because,
never seen that.
yeah, have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah, it's Scarlett Johansson and Colin Firth as Johannes Vermeer, and it's about the inspiration behind the painting that he created, "Girl with the Pearl Earring." And this might be silly, but for some reason, because Greek is a maid, and there are so many scenes, and this is not my main reason for liking the movie, but there are so many scenes where she's cleaning, and she's like cooking, like she has like kind of like this lens and this eye for detail in what she does, and so there's something very like relaxing and very refreshing about watching that film as I'm cooking and cleaning, because I don't know, as you see what's playing out on screen, I don't know, I kind of connected with that. And then the film Frida, I feel like Frida, starring Salma Hayek, that I think Julie Taymor is the director.
That's a
The
good movie.
Yes, the artistry of that film, like I can have that on whenever because it's yeah, the vibe and the feeling and just the execution of that film. I love Frida.
I always have on the background. I always have like a comedy on in the background when I'm cleaning or cooking, just because if I watch like a movie like Frida or something, I have to pay attention to it.
Mhm.
So I normally put Easy A in the background or
Mhm.
Stupid Crazy Love because I just love those movies.
Yeah. And I will say sometimes I'll put on even though I'm up and down with Tyler Perry, I will say his plays, especially his early ones, I'll put those on too,
Oh
and
yeah.
they can be really funny and entertaining to listen to.
And I was saying The Orphanage is just fantastic.
Yes, it is. I love The Orphanage.
Good Will Hunting, that's a good one. I love Good
Yeah, I
Will
have to see that
Hunting.
one.
Rest in peace, um, rest in peace, Robin Williams. Yeah, Lake
Yeah.
Fear. Yeah,
Yeah, I cannot wait to watch those. I will definitely watch those reviews.
they were so bad. The Birdcage, I love the Birdcage too.
I remember the Birdcage.
Uh, Kush Groove, I haven't seen that one. Hi Betty T, how are you?
Hey,
Hey Betty T. Finding Nemo, that's a good one too. I love Finding Nemo as well. It's one of my favorite Pixar films. What was a film that reflected your life to a point where it changed and molded your personality? Can you come back to this if you need more time?
I will say I would say a film that had like a significant impact, like in that way. Yeah, no, it actually, yeah, I think it's almost almost dead on with this question, but I would say Titanic. Um, Titanic and Beauty and the Beast are like my top films of all time, and they're like right next to each other. And the reason why they're right next to each other is that I feel like Beauty and the Beast. I remember seeing Beauty and the Beast when I was one or two. Like I still have the visual imagery of seeing it then. I can remember a lot from when I was younger. And to me, I felt like Beauty and the Beast was like this beginning of my imagination really opening as a child and really understanding, this I don't like happiness and imagination
Mhm.
and joy and mystery and magic and all these things. And I also felt like when I would watch Beauty and the Beast, that was a reflection of my life with my family. I felt like when I would have experiences with my family, it was very much like Beauty and the Beast, just kind of like a realistic version. Like we would have these beautiful, happy experiences. And then, Titanic was kind of the opposite of that because Titanic came along during a really traumatic time. I'll just say that. And a lot of what was showcased in Titanic kind of reflected my reality of time. Excuse me, my reality at that time. And so it was interesting watching a film kind of parallel my journey from kind of like joy, happiness, imagination, childhood to kind of like grief, loss, confusion, disorientation. And so I would say those are the two most significant films. But, there was a shift kind of with Titanic. And of course, there was a lot cinematically that I learned and appreciated in Titanic. I learned about costume design. I learned about, just production. Like there's a lot I learned
Mhm.
from Titanic, but that was probably the most significant one for me.
Right. Mine is Milan. I know a lot of people don't like Milan, but mine is Milan because you know the part where Christina Aguilera is singing "Reflection of Yourself." And growing up, I used to like say like I'm not the prettiest person in the world and stuff like that. So I can relate to Milan, and I have brothers, so like some of my brother's friends are like, "You're a girl, you can't do that," and I'm like, "You want to
Mhm.
watch me?"
All right,
So,
all right.
so Milan, and I want to say like a dramatic movie that kind of has me is Titanic because I've lost growing up. I've dealt with sickness. I had to grow up at a young age. A lot of people don't know that I had to grow up at a young age, and
Yes.
I've lost two people in about a year of each other. So for me, it's Titanic and Mulan go together to me, just because those are like movies and they're reflections of who I am as a person.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree.
Uh, and and John's and Dan's getting on John for putting you on blast.
Yes, John. It's. I know you. I think I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but you guys basically said like we have to be at some point. You can't be the one asking the questions, so it's all good.
And John saying In the Heights was for him.
Yes, John. I know that one had a big impact on you, definitely.
Yeah, I loved In the Heights. It was such a good movie.
Yeah,
I
and I
like
didn't
that.
even have high expectations for that one. I didn't know anything about the inspiration or anything until one of my friends told me, and I went in and we saw that. Had such a blast.
And then Blade Runner, Terrence is saying, I like Blade Runner. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Blade Runner is one that kind of had to, when I say grow on me, it's not like it was a horrible movie, but I watched it in film history class, and that's not the same thing as like watching yourself. And then it's one of those films that you appreciate more and more the more you come back to. So yeah, Blade Runner is such a that's a very unique film, and I think it's such a well made film.
What is an older movie that people consider an icon that you don't care for?
Oh, do you have one?
I have a bunch of them actually. Mine is a lot of people like Casablanca, and I don't really like that movie. I mean, like I understand that it's back in like where we didn't have color and stuff like that, but everybody seems to love that movie, and it's an iconic movie. I just don't like it. I don't know why, but I just don't like that film.
Yeah, mine is definitely Breakfast at Tiffany's. Oh my gosh, I remember I had a chance. I was one night. I was like, what am I going to watch? And on Netflix they have the 7 Year Itch, and they had Breakfast at Tiffany's. And so I said I will watch 15 minutes of the beginning of both and see how I feel. So I watched the beginning of the 7 Year Itch. They were depicting Indians. I was like, okay, no. And so I saw the beginning of Breakfast at Tiffany's, and they had that very iconic scene where she's, it's in the early hours. She's walking down the empty streets of New York. She's looking at the jewels. She's in her gown. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this.
Right.
Absolutely not. And it's just, I don't know. It just does not resonate with me. It did not click. And then what made it worse, I was so happy. I was like, oh, Mickey Rooney is in this film. I can't wait to see him. And I kept seeing this Asian character who was just acting a complete fool throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, well, fine, but where's Mickey Rooney? And you could have knocked me over with a feather when I realized that Mickey Rooney was in fact depicting this Asian man. And not only was it offensive to be, playing this Asian character and you're not Asian, but it was just very offensive, like,
Right.
It was just a bunch of like extra stuff. And then no other character in the film was like that. Everyone else was just kind of cool and calm, and then you have all this slapstick and hijinks.
Right.
That film was not it for me.
Everybody likes that movie. And Audrey Hepburn's in that movie, so a lot of people like her as an actress.
Yeah, I love her, and she's beautiful, but that film is no.
All That Jazz is another kiss movie. Spider Woman, yeah. I don't really care for the movie. I think it's great, but oh wow.
And see, I remember Shawshank from when I was younger, but I have to rewatch that one, and I have a feeling I might end up feeling the same way.
A star in Born and Judy Garland version. I have not seen that version, and I have not seen the Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga version either, just because I don't want to cry.
Yeah, ironically enough, that's probably the one I prefer out of all four. I did not like the '70s one with Barbara Streisand. I thought I was going to really be into that, and I thought it was just it was not for me.
And I was saying Citizen Kane is for him.
It's interesting, and I see Jace's comment too. But Citizen Kane is the one that I thought I would dislike, and maybe because I thought I was going to dislike it, and people said it's overrated, it's overrated. I ended up watching it, and it actually resonated with me. And just
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and some of the techniques, cinematically and the style, I thought that was really, really well done. And so I appreciated the vision of it, but I think it's one of those situations where it might be, for some people, because it gets hailed as the best film of all time, people dislike it. But it's ironic because it did not have a good reception when it was released. So it's almost like it didn't have a good reception. It got, people came to appreciate it over the years. And I think now that it's like, oh, this is the best film ever, people are like, yeah, no, it's still not the best film. So for me, it was kind of the opposite experience.
Right. And John's with you. He likes that movie. I haven't seen it.
Yes,
So
John.
I'll have to review it because I have not seen that movie. Oh, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Oh, damn. Ouch, that hurts. But you know what? The Lord of the Rings, it took time for it to grow on me because when it first came out, I think I was too young. I mean, I'm not saying this is your reason. I'm saying, but for me, I was kind of like, this is like kind of long and kind of plotting and not boring, but it's just like I didn't care enough about the world to kind of go on this journey. And then as I got older, it's one that I came back to, and I was like, oh, I really love this world, and I love these characters, and I was able to have, I think sometimes for me at least, revisiting things with a different mindset and kind of more patience, I was able to appreciate it more. But some people just don't like. So Dan, I can understand if it's just not for you, then it's not for you.
I read the books because we had to read them for school, and then when the movies came out, I was like, oh, I have to watch these, and so I watched them, and then I read the Hobbits, and then the Hobbits came out, even though that the Hobbits actually the first books besides Lord of the Rings, and then goes from there. Yeah, it's a history. Dan, yeah.
Dan is choosing violence, but that's okay.
and then anybody Hogwarts houses. I'm a Gryffindor. You're a Ravenclaw?
Ravenclaw. Yes.
I was a Ravenclaw too. I'm a Gryffindor. I love Harry Potter. I did not, though, this is a hot take, I did not like Crimes of Grindelwald with Johnny Depp.
I didn't like it either. I thought it was a mess. I feel like just so much was going on. That movie gave me a headache. I was like, what is this?
So Al's a Ravenclaw, and so is Dan. So we have 3 Ravenclaws and 1 Slytherin. But my favorite though out of the Harry Potter, that's not a hot take. Oh, okay, because I know some people that do like that movie actually, but I didn't like Johnny Depp's performance in that movie, and I'm a Johnny Depp fan, but I didn't like his performance in that movie at all.
Yeah, I didn't. It was better than I thought it was going to be because when he showed up at the end of Fantastic Beasts, I was like, oh no, like why are we doing this? And not just because it's Johnny Depp, but more so because I actually enjoyed Colin Farrell's kind of take on that character. So when it was like, no, this is somebody else, I was like, okay, fine.
The new movie might not be too bad, Jace.
It might be better. Worse than Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah, my favorite out of the whole you have to watch Harry Potter, Terrence. It's so good. You have to watch them. They get darker as they go. The first 2 are more kiddie, but they get darker as they go.
Yeah.
I say the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2 could have been like a horror movie, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite one is the Half-Blood Prince because Snape's one of my favorite characters in the Harry Potter series. Because he's such a complex character, and you don't really know who Snape is until the Half-Blood Prince, and you don't know why he's being mean to Harry, but the whole time he's trying to protect Harry, which I think is actually kind of interesting.
Right.
And Snape also really loved Harry's mom because he had a crush on him, and that's the whole reason why he doesn't like him and stuff like that, because James used to make fun of him and stuff. But I don't encourage making fun of anybody. But still, but that's one of my favorite. What's one of your favorite ones?
As far as the movies, you mean?
Yeah.
Even though the book, and I'm one of those people, I don't complain about book or movie adaptations of books because the mediums are so different. So there's no point in even trying to compare the two. But I think part of this is because I enjoy the Goblet of Fire is like my favorite book of the entire series. And I'd have to go back and rewatch, but I'm pretty sure that The Goblet of Fire is probably my favorite film.
Yeah,
and it really goes some places. And the Triwizard Tournament, as John is saying, like it's just so fun and it's so cool. Like the different houses and the schools, like all this coming together. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I like the books too. My favorite book is still the Half Blood Prince, just because there's a whole bunch more stuff in there. Order of the Phoenix is my least favorite, just because you're dealing with like the army and this and that, and it has like a lot of rules in it, I guess.
Right.
I have not seen Williams. I have not seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either, unfortunately. I might have to add that to my list.
And Al saying Goblet of Fire his favorite. Deathly Parlor. Oh, huh. Interesting. I've never heard anybody like Deathly Hallows Part 2. But it's a good movie though, you know. But I also a lot of people didn't realize Cedric Diggory is actually Robert Pattinson. A lot of people don't realize to put
Oh
two and two
yeah, yeah.
together.
And I still remember him. I want to say, I don't know if that's it was either the Goblet of Fire or something else he did from that. So like when we went into Twilight, I remembered him from either that or something else. But yeah, a lot of people didn't realize that was him.
Are you excited for the new Batman movie with him in it?
I am ambivalent because Batman to me, the Batman franchise has had a rough road the past few years, and I appreciate what this is giving, but I can also see it kind of going in another direction and it being a bit of a I just think sometimes I'm worried about it taking itself too seriously to the point where it's not an enjoyable film or an engaging film. It's just kind of like we want to like because I think of course we're trying to get away from the bottom of the franchise, which is Batman and Robin. So I understand
Right.
we're not trying to go in that direction, but ultimately I think that there's just room for it to potentially not be that fun. So that's the only thing I'm worried about.
Right.
Mainly excited for Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman because I love Catwoman as a Batman character in general.
Right.
So yeah.
I like Zoe Kravitz. She was really good in the Divergent series.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I
Um,
have to watch that one.
you haven't watched them?
Oh, Divergent. Yeah, I wasn't. I between the Hunger Games, Divergent, and then the Maze Runner. The Maze Runner was the only one that I got into. I just wasn't into, Hollywood does things and trends. And so I
Right.
was realizing that the young adult, novels, the dystopian future, that was becoming a thing. And I was like, look, I can only watch but so many of these. So when the Maze Runner came out, that was the one that stood out to me. And so I ended up watching those. So one of these
I
days, I'll come back and watch the rest. Yeah.
I read all those books. The Hunger Games, Maze Runner, and Divergent. I've read all those books. And I've seen all those movies. I like out of all those, I like the Maze Runner the best.
Yeah.
And it has the same guy, Dylan O'Brien from what is that? From Teen Wolf.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I like him as Stylus in Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
Plays such a funny character. No, I know it's the highest rating one, but a couple of my friends don't like the second one. It's Sorcerer. Okay, I'll have to check that film out. I wanna see it.
Yeah, same here.
And John saying he liked part 1 and part 2, and Dan's like part 1 was boring to him, kind of boring to him. Do you guys? Oh yeah, I liked the Harry Potter reunion. It brought back memories.
Yeah, I still have to watch it, but I've heard like universally great things.
Yeah. Oh God, John, do you? That's what happens when you get the cinema squad in here. They all rag on each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the best one too. I'm a runner. Ow, yes. Crack me up. Nothing. The Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, the Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, I agree with you, Jace. Guilty pleasures. Mine is the Men in Black series. I love them.
Let's see. What is a guilty pleasure film for me? I think. Let's see. Oh, Tremors.
Oh, I see. I watched that for the first time a few months ago.
Yeah, I love Tremors. Tremors actually, and it's funny because I don't know. I don't think Tremors is meant to be like a straightforward, like horror-ish type of film. It's obviously having fun and kind of poking fun with the whole like monster aspect. But that scene where that car gets dragged into the sand, like I may have had a nightmare or two just based off of that. But Tremors is a really fun movie. Like I love Tremors.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. Order of the Phoenix is my least favorite, and Terrence is saying the Men in Black series was cool. Yeah, I like that one too. What? Chamber of Secrets, the Half Blood Prince. Oh, well, I like the Half Blood Prince in my opinion. I like that one. Chamber of Secrets, I can see.
Yeah, I can see how that might not hold up.
But I just love Harry Potter, so it doesn't really matter to me. What is this? I love sushi, but I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I'm getting more into 80s films. I'm starting to enjoy those.
Oh, have you seen The Breakfast Club or 16 Candles yet?
Oh, absolutely. I remember 16 Candles when I was a lot younger. That's one I need to revisit as an adult. But I've seen Breakfast Club a few times, and Breakfast Club is always fun. And that definitely is. That's probably, you have some films that are kind of iconic or significant in film history, and you don't get it. But that's one where I totally understand why that has the status that it has.
Right. Have you seen The Outsiders? That's from there too.
No, but I'm going to watch that very soon because I saw
okay,
that
so read the book and then watch the movie so you can compare them.
Okay, definitely.
Just because the book's a little bit different, and we had to do that in school. We had to read the book and then watch the movie. I like the book a lot better, but it also has Emilio Estevez from The Breakfast Club in that movie as well.
Right.
And I like the first Fantastic Beasts too, Dan.
Yeah, I really enjoy that.
And a foreign film that you recommend?
Ooh, there are so many because I love foreign films.
I do too.
Let's see. If I had to pick one, I would say just to go with one that's very shocking and very in your face and just has some twists that you won't be expecting. The Skin I Live In by Pedro Almodovar. I have never seen anything like that before. And if you could only be a fly on the wall when certain things were revealed in that story, it's bananas. So yeah, that's The Skin I Live In.
Hold on, I have to look it up to make sure that I'm right with the foreign film that I like. Hold on, make sure. Let's see. So there, I really liked. There's a couple that I really liked. There's just so many foreign films. I really liked Emilia, or however you say that. It was, this one. It's this one.
Oh yeah, Emily. Yeah.
I really liked that one. That one was really good.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorites when it came out at the time. Mm-hmm. And I saw it in the movie theater when I was working in the movie theater, so I got a chance to see it. Have you ever seen? No, I have not seen that one either.
No, but I miss Gregory Hines so much, so I would watch anything with him in it. So yeah, I definitely check that out.
Oh, the Furry Games, I haven't seen that one. The Funny Games.
I'm scared to watch. If Funny Games is the film, I think I'm scared to watch that, or maybe that's Straw Dogs I'm thinking of. I might have to check Funny Games out.
What films do you find offensive? Saving Mr. Banks was a A lot of people liked that one.
Yeah, Terrence, I want to know why you thought those two were offensive, but I would say maybe this first one is obvious. I didn't understand what Birth of a Nation was about, the 1915 film, because I kept hearing about that because it had all these innovations in film techniques, which is great. But Birth of a Nation is about is a clan fantasy. So I'm like, oh well, given my history, that's obviously not enjoyable for me.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of something else that would be offensive. Do you have one, Katie?
I'm saying Sausage Party. I didn't really like that one.
Wait, Sausage Party was was such a bizarre film, and I just like my eyes. I'm still trying to erase the memory of that. I don't even know what you would call that at the end, but that group
Uh,
scene, that was horrifying, and I wasn't prepared for that. I would say the only other film I can think that would be remotely offensive, because it was just trying so hard and it was so stupid, was Mother
right,
by Darren Aronofsky. I just was just like, this is so dumb, and I didn't even understand what it was supposed to be about. And I
right.
usually am in tune, but then someone
Mhm.
explained it to me. I was just like, oh gosh, like I don't like shock value just for the sake of shock value,
Well,
and it was so like, hey guys, look what we're doing.
right. The only reason why I find that offensive is just because I'm not the type of person that will watch those type of movies to begin with. And my friends are like, let's watch this. This is the new Seth Rogen movie. I was like, okay. And I watched it and I was just like, whoa, what the heck?
Right,
John knows. John's been on here before. He knows I come up with crazy stuff and just make people laugh.
right.
Uh, if you could recast any character, who would it be? Actor or actress?
Ooh, darn, that is a great question. Oh, please. Really, anybody could have played Belle in Beauty and the Beast, but if it were possible, like maybe Emmy Rossum, um, or if it was years ago, I could have seen a young Anne Hathaway doing Belle, but Emma,
I didn't like I Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney film. Like
right,
it's my because my personality is more like Belle's personality, so she's my favorite Disney princess. I did
right.
not like Emma Watson. I mean, like I like Emma Watson, but I did not like her as Belle.
I
I
thought
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I thought it was terrible. And I'm not to be offensive. I'm not saying like almost anybody, but there are a lot of actresses we could have gone with, and they would have made a better Belle. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Just like I was saying in the Hunger Games, I could have gone with with not having Jennifer Lawrence play Katniss.
Yeah,
I would have gone with like Zoe Kravitz, or I would have gone with like somebody different than Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss, because she didn't seem like the Katniss to me. Um
also, Cruella. I wasn't the hugest fan of
Emma Stone.
yeah, Emma Stone as Cruella. I could have easily seen Vanessa Kirby playing that character and doing a whole lot better, personally.
Mr. Banks was offensive, as P.F. Travers would not have won over by Mary Poppins, so the portrayal as the artist. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that can be a controversial thing to.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, Sean, y'all are funny.
Mm.
I don't actually either done. Uh, thank you. I don't know
Yeah,
what.
I was gonna say, in theory, there's nothing that really offends me, and even with what I mentioned, it's just kind of like, oh, well, this is like,
Right.
this is like kind of like whack. But
I'm just, I'm the same way. It doesn't really offend me, but it's just like makes me think.
right, yeah, I'm just kind of like, oh, all right. So yeah,
Wolverine.
oh, I could actually see that.
That's why you're invited to the bath. Y'all are something else.
Of course, of course.
Any film with The Rock in it, with with the cardboard box? I don't know. I don't understand that question. Um, I would Michael Jackson Thriller.
Katie, do you know what they're referring to? What
Yeah,
John is referring to?
I think isn't he referring to when you did the Halloween costume thing?
Yes, he
Yeah,
is. Of course,
that's
he is.
that's what I thought. I was actually at work, and then you just pop. I was at work, and I was working in the bakery, and then all of a sudden I just see you pop up on the screen. I'm like, whoa, what the heck is going on? I had to go back and rewatch that. I was like, why did D just pop up on my screen like that? I was
Exactly.
not expecting that. That was fun though.
Yes.
No, I wish Epcot still had Captain EO. That was Michael Jackson. They had like a film and he was Captain EO. If you ever
Oh,
get the chance to look at it, check it out.
okay.
What are you guys talking about a bath time party? What the heck is a bathtub party? What are you guys talking about?
I think I have an idea, but I'm not going to say anything.
I have no clue. It must be an inside joke. The best film The Rock has done.
Has The Rock done a good film?
What?
Has The Rock done a good film?
No. I didn't like him in Dune.
Let me stop.
I didn't like him in Dune. Or Doom, or however you say that movie. That video game.
Yeah, it's hard because The Rock is just. Oh, no, that's easy. Fast Five, that's easy. However, it's very clear that I don't think he really leans into doing good films. He just knows how to do. He knows because of the audience, because of his popularity, that his films will make money. So they don't have to necessarily be good. But I would say the one I enjoyed the most was probably Fast Five.
I liked him in that Disney movie where he's like the football player and then the little girl comes into his house or whatever.
Yeah, I cannot remember what the name of it was, but yes, I remember. I heard good things about that
one. That one was one of his better films. Romance. Jumanji. I liked Jumanji. Actually, Dennis Mellon, the guy that I interviewed, he was actually in the second part of Jumanji. He was the father in the second part of Jumanji. He's in there.
Rampage. That film was called The Game Plan.
Yeah. I actually like that film. Rampage, I have not seen that one.
Rampage was weird, but it was somewhat entertaining.
Moana, yeah, he was good as Maui in Moana.
Oh yeah. That's actually a more obvious one. If we're talking about like just voice acting, or maybe not just voice acting, but definitely probably one of his best. If I'm talking about just live action, then it'd probably be Fast Five.
One of my there's actually a couple of I'm gonna do this on my channel, but there's a couple of Disney theories. They actually say Moana actually died, and that's how she could see Maui.
Yikes. Mm-hmm. Have I heard? I don't know if I've heard that or not, but what's funny to me is that a lot of the theories about not just Disney characters, but just a lot of times it is Disney, but it just seems like even like with Winnie the Pooh, they said basically Christopher Robin has like mental and emotional instability. So, Eeyore is his depression, and then the other one is this. Like, it's like these different like symptoms and disorders. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, do any of these theories ever have like a happy side, or are they always just depressing? Because it seems like there's always death or darkness or sadness, always.
Most of them are sad. The same thing with Finding Nemo as well.
Yes, exactly.
Where was I? Jumanji? Yeah. Rampage. Because y'all are going too fast. Moana and Fast Five.
Yeah.
Moana was good. A film you can't find defends how bad it seems. You love it. That's a hard question.
It is a hard one. Let me see if I can outsource for a second. Let's see. Bad films.
And Giggles is saying they like Hobbs and Shaw. That one was all right. I'm sorry, Terrence.
No. Where's the what is it? I know, poor Terrence. Like, but Mommy Dearest. Mommy Dearest is hilarious. And
with Judy Garland, is that the one with Judy Garland?
No, it's about Joan Crawford and the actress Bonnie and Clyde. The name all of a sudden just flew out of my brain. But Mommy Dearest it's one of those films where it's like you see that, because ultimately it's the film is about Christina Crawford. She was the adopted daughter of Joan Crawford, and it was about kind of her abusive experiences with her as a mother, and kind of like a terror she was. And I think there's something to be said about highlighting the reality of that, But the
Mm-hmm.
problem is you have these scenes that are so Faye Dunaway, yes. Faye Dunaway is the actress, but you have so many scenes where it's just like, no more wire. Like it's just a lot. It's very theatrical and over the top. And so as opposed to sinking into the reality of the moment, you just get these theatrics. Like there's this one scene where Christina screams at her mother, like
Mm-hmm.
Joan is basically saying, like, why don't you give me the respect that I am entitled to? And the Christina says, because I am not one of your fans. I was just like, wow. Like everyone is like on 20. So
Right.
that it's entertaining though.
I don't really have a thought for that one. I don't know. But there is a Mommy Dearest movie that has Judy Garland in it, and she plays Mommy Dearest, and she's so mean to the kids.
Oh wow. So I haven't seen that.
Mm-hmm. It's I think it's from the, I don't know, maybe 60s or 70s, maybe 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Classic act. I haven't seen that one.
See, I've seen House Party, but I haven't seen Class Act. I didn't realize Class Act existed until I got older.
No More Hangers. I haven't seen that one either. There's a lot of movies I have not seen. What's your answer, John? Wait, I haven't seen that either.
Oh no, Faye Dunaway is the actress in Mommy Dearest.
Oh, I was like, who are they talking about? I haven't seen the movie. But is there any movies that you don't really like or you will not watch again?
House of Sand and Fog with Jennifer Connelly and Ben Kingsley. That film was so overwhelmingly and shockingly depressing that I can't even really think of the film without like getting traumatized all over again. It was just not the film that I thought it would be. And please understand that I am not a like, yay, happy endings. The world is a rainbow and hearts and stars, and that is not me. However, some films are so overwhelmingly sad and dark and depressing that afterwards it's like, okay, I need to go rediscover my happy place again. And House of Sand and Fog is a film I never need to watch again. Absolutely not.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, I will not watch Human Centipede or I will not watch The Fly. Those are two movies I will not watch.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I've heard so much about Human Centipede, and there's no need to even subject myself to that.
Yeah, he's saying two, and I was saying 2 and 3, but I will not watch either one. Even though that my one friend loves to see Jeff Goldblum naked in The Fly, I still won't watch it.
Yeah, I love The Fly, but it is gross. It is extremely gross.
Yeah, so I will not watch that. Human Centipede is why.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I love Room, Dan. Yeah, I just can't watch it again, and everybody's like, you need to watch it again, maybe you'll like it better. I'm like, no.
Or maybe you'll regret watching it again.
Yeah, I'm like, no. There's just a couple movies that I will never watch it again, and I'm just like, no, I prefer not to.
Yeah.
Is there so is Belle your favorite Disney princess since you like the movie so much?
I would say Belle is probably up there. If she's definitely easily top 3. And for me, because I've said this on some videos, but I am such a I've been an avid reader since I was 2. My mom basically said that I just picked it up from my mom and my dad and my grandmother, from everyone basically reading to me. I basically picked up reading, and I kind of taught myself to read. And so I've been reading avidly, all the way to now. And so I think that seeing Belle, especially so early on in those formative years, seeing someone who was talking about, I love books and faraway kingdoms and imagination, right. And this is what, and that scene when the Beast gives Belle, shows her the library, I was like, this is the best thing ever. Like, I loved it. So yes, Belle was definitely one who I loved and appreciated very much. But I also loved thinking about all of them. But I really enjoyed Jasmine, and then name. Mulan. Sorry, Jasmine and then
Mhm.
Mulan. I understand the princess thing isn't the same for everybody, but Jasmine
But
and Mulan.
those are great characters, and Jason saying Human Centipede was a waste of time. Yeah, I
I believe
agree.
it.
And then Terrence is asking any horror movies that traumatized you as a child.
Oddly enough, I had this for whatever reason, I had a lack of sensitivity to a lot of horror stuff, even though I was young, and there are certain things I probably didn't need to see. But I would have my limits, though. I wasn't just watching everything because my mother tried to show me the Michael Jackson Thriller video, and I just really like flipped out, and I like ran out the room, and she kept trying to pull me in the room. Like I still
Right.
remember like acting the fool. I just like Michael Jackson transforming into a werewolf, and then the undead trying to kill old girl. I was not here for it. But I would say the earliest memory of me really like, whoa, Interview with the Vampire. There was just this scene. Well, there are a couple of scenes actually, and there's one later in Paris where they kill a woman on stage. I still cannot really think about that scene without like getting
Mhm.
my hair raising up on my skin. Like, ugh, it just gets under my skin in the wrong way. And then I remember it was late at night and the film was on, and I just saw this point where I realized Lestat was about to kill this other woman, but he was doing this and he was doing it in this very seductive kind of like, oh, hey. And I realized that something bad was happening. So I had a VCR then. So I just pressed the channel button really, really fast and got away from the scene. So Interview with the Vampire was very disturbing. It also
Right.
turned me on to my love of vampires, but it was very traumatizing to watch the first time.
I say for me is The Crow. My older brother loved that movie and had the poster and everything. And who doesn't like Bruce Lee's son in that movie? But
Mhm.
it scared me, even though he passed away on that movie set. But it scared the crap out of me because my older brother's 10 years older than me. So we were like little and watching like Freddy and Friday the 13th and stuff. And my mom was always like, they have nightmares. Guess what? They're your problem.
Right.
Me and my little brother. Mildred Pierce, Joan Crawford are the best movies.
Yeah, Mildred Pierce is a great film. I even enjoyed the newer one they did on HBO with Kate Winslet. I love both of those. They're both very
Mhm.
different, but I love Mildred Pierce. Yeah.
Yeah. And John's asking if you ever been to Walt Disney World.
I've been, I want to say twice. My dad took me, it's such a beautiful memory, but my dad took me to Animal Kingdom when I was probably 7. Had such a blast. And then my chorus trip for the 8th grade, like we had the 8th grade trip, and we went to, I think it was like all of them. Like we went to, it's still MGM Studios to me, even though they changed it to Hollywood. But we went to MGM Studios, we went to Epcot. I think we went
Mhm.
everywhere. So yeah, I love Disney World, but I haven't been since. Ooh, I don't think I've been since middle school. Well, no, I went to downtown Disney and I visited the area a few years ago, but I
Disney
haven't been to like
Springs.
the park yet.
Yeah, you anytime come down. John and I will show you around.
Oh, definitely, that'll be
I live
fun.
I live about an hour away from John actually.
Okay, cool. Listen, I'm down for it. Oh,
Mildred,
Giggles was
yes.
talking about the fly, the help me part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me it was the original. Yeah, that could be too. John Carpenter's. Happy birthday, John Carpenter. By the way, it's his birthday
Yes.
today.
Happy birthday.
He's one of my favorite directors just because he can do everything, music, everything. He can do everything just about.
Yeah.
Um, yes, I run on the room through. Yeah,
Could
hi
not deal
Jen.
with it.
13 Ghosts scared her. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
with Scooby Doo, Matthew
Yeah.
Lillard was in that.
Yeah. There are some scary moments there, although I did love I think 13 Ghosts was like the first film I ever bought. I was maybe 12, 13, maybe. Yeah, ironically enough.
First time I saw Thriller, the Michael Jackson movie. I mean the music video.
Yeah.
Eye Bones. American Werewolf in London. Yeah.
Yeah, thankfully I saw that one when I was older. If I had seen that when I was younger, I probably would have flipped out on that one too.
I did a review on it a few months ago. I did a few months ago. And that movie still holds up very well. And also the way that they made the werewolf, it holds up very well today
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
Huh. Bones, you're funny. MGM, yeah, I call it MGM Studios too.
Yeah, it's still MGM. Mm-mm.
Google's is saying The Exorcist. Yeah, that
Yeah,
movie scared me.
Yeah, I've heard so much about The Exorcist.
Which scary movie the most terrifying you saw the first time but didn't find it scary yet? It was the Paranormal Activity movie, the first one. That movie freaked me out because I thought it was real, and then I found out it wasn't real, and I was like, I'm freaking out for nothing, sleeping with the lights on, because I watched that movie like late at night in the movie theater.
Yeah. For me, I told you, Interview the Vampire put me on to vampires, but so did Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy and Angela Bassett. And I literally asked my mother to watch that movie. I couldn't have been more than 5 or 6. And she was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yes." And then there are a couple moments where I was trying to run out the basement. She was like, "No, you asked to watch this, so we're going to watch it." But so yeah, there are definitely some creepy moments in that, but I think there are also some oddly comedic moments there. So rewatching it, and it definitely, I'm sure at some point whenever I rewatched it again, I was like, oh, this is like more of a comedy. Like they get somewhat serious with the scary aspect with the vampires, but yeah, it was not scary at all. Like especially this is Eddie Murphy we're talking about, so yeah.
Right. What's your favorite scary movie? Mine's the Rob Zombie Halloween. The first one, not the second one, the first one.
Ooh, I would say one of my favorites. There are others, I'm sure, but one of my favorites is I want to say it's either 1998 or maybe 1999, but House on Haunted Hill. I think that was my first, like, as I was getting into like preteen, teenage age. I watched that, and it was disturbing and frightening, but I
Right.
loved it because of what they did, like what they did with the scares and the fact that it takes place in this insane asylum, discovering what's at the root of this house. And there's some genuinely scary moments there. I think the scariest part of that scene to me is when Jeffrey Price's character, Jeffrey Rush, excuse me. I said Price because the character he plays is almost like Vincent Price from the original, but it's put in this like contraption that is meant to, I guess, like treat any patient, and it turns into this horrifying vision that it's basically like it delves deep into his brain, and he now is kind of like at the heart of this house with all of these creatures and these staff with these warped faces. Like it was the most disturbing thing I'd ever seen. So I love House on Haunted Hill.
Right. Dan was saying he was trying to be like Ghostface.
What's your favorite scary movie? And I had a feeling.
And Jen saying Jaws scared her.
Oh yeah, Jaws
was
was probably a little creepy for me as well. Yeah, Jaws was a good one.
What's your least favorite reboot of movie, franchise, or TV show?
To use a very a recent example, as far as TV series, because I'll actually answer both. But and Just Like That, which is the reboot of the Sex and the City series, that is a horrific series. And I'm the type to kind of give grace because I understand everything can't live up to the legacy of something that was established before, but it's a horribly written show. They are massacring these characters. Like the costumes are, and the styling is atrocious. Like it is a genuinely horrible series for a lot of reasons, and it is almost a blight and a complete disservice to the legacy of the original. It's
I have to agree with you on that. I watched the first like 2 episodes and I was just like getting mad at the show. I was like, nope, I'm not watching no more of this.
Yeah. And then as far as a movie franchise, there's a lot of those. So you could really go in any direction with that. But I just remember Terminator Genesis was such a bizarre, unnecessary, and poorly executed film. It's just like if you look at the first Terminator and you watch Genesis, and there's been a lot from, because I understand Terminator and Terminator 2 are like the kind of the peak of the franchise. 3 isn't the best, Salvation isn't the best, but Genesis to me was like a new low. Genesis is just like, okay, we're playing games now. We don't really care about the legacy of this franchise. Like, no.
I also have to agree with Dan here on The Matrix Resurrections. I did not like that.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to watch The Matrix Resurrections. I had hope, but as soon as and usually I understand you're not supposed to listen to everyone else, form your own opinion. Like I don't even from what I've heard, I don't even want to waste time. I refuse. And I knew as soon as I heard about Lawrence Fishburne not coming back and
the fake Morpheus. Yeah.
I was like, oh no way, absolutely.
And then the person, I actually like him, but the person that they got to play Agent Smith is Jonathan Groff or
yes, him too.
And I really like him, but I'm just like that does not make no sense to have him play that.
No.
And then Neil Patrick Harris is in the movie, and I was like, wait, what the heck?
That was another thing I noticed in the trailer. I was like, I don't have an issue with Jonathan Groff, but I just from him saying like, how does it feel to be back in the Matrix? I was like, you're gonna get on my nerves. And then Neil Patrick Harris, he's hit or miss for me also. So I was like, yeah, already just from seeing these 3 actors, it's gonna be enough for me.
The only show that I really liked him in was How I Met Your Mother.
Right.
Dexter for giggles. Dexter wasn't that bad.
Yeah, the new one. Yeah, I think Dexter New Blood is what they're talking about.
Yeah, I've watched the first 2 episodes, and Dexter, the new Dexter's okay. It's hit or miss, but I actually enjoyed it just because I got mad at the last season of it where they just leave him off and he's like in that deserted like wherever he went. But I'm just like, what the heck, And so them going to see where he actually was, it's okay, but I get where she's coming from or he's coming from. I like MPH, but he does not work as a villain. No, he doesn't. Sure. And nothing on Groff's has nothing on Waving. I like him on Glee. He was pretty good on Glee playing Jesse, and he was also really good on Hamilton playing Henry, King Henry, or King George. Sorry, King George.
Yeah, but the fact that they would even position him to come anywhere close, Agent Smith is iconic and impactful for a reason, and Hugo Weaving's performance is a part of that. So why even create a character that's anywhere close to what that would have been? It makes no sense.
Right. And then I liked him in Harold and Kumar Goes to White Castle. I like that one.
I have to rewatch that, but I have memories of that one too.
But I think it's so funny though that he was in the car with the strippers and he's gay, and I'm like, Neil Patrick Harris is in there with the strippers and he's gay. What?
Right.
I think they were trying to make fun of it or something, and then they kept on calling him Dookie Howser.
Oh yeah, which is a show. Of course, that was. I think it might have been before my time. So then, when I got older, I was like, oh, I didn't know that's like what he was. Yeah, that was his start claim to fame.
Yeah, and then now they have that new Dookie Howser show on Disney Plus. That wasn't actually bad. It's a girl Dookie. It's a girl Dookie Howser. Case, I was gonna ask the other day if you've seen Harold and Kumar, but I knew the answer with you. What hasn't Jay seen? What kind of comedy hasn't Jay seen? because he cracks me up with some of the stuff he does on his videos. He cracks me up
Oh,
sometimes.
Jace is awesome. Jace needs to be in somebody's film, somebody's series because Jace is talented. So whenever he gets into his characters and he has his moment, I'm always here for it.
White Castle's overrated. I've never been to a White Castle.
It probably is now. See, I grew up in the Midwest, Chicago / Gary, Indiana, as I always say. And White Castle was a kind of a way of life coming up. But I think it's one of those things where, much like McDonald's, as the years have gone on, I don't know if it's the ingredients, I don't know I don't know what's changed, but whatever it was before is probably not what it is now. So
We have something similar, but it's not near where I live. It's near mostly where John is. It's called Crystal Burger, and it's kind of the same concept.
Right.
But I've never been there. Food's overrated. Dookie, yeah, Dookie's, yeah. It's a good show. Dookie Howser. It's a good show. You can tell that it's from the 80s. Y'all, my heart's melting over here. JC, you know we love you.
Of course.
I don't know any of those in Montana. Yeah. Jen lives in Montana.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure some of those areas probably don't have it.
Oh, you're welcome anytime, Jace. You know we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Is the Social Network the best film based on upcoming business? I don't mind The Founder either.
Ooh.
I like The Founder with Michael Keaton. That was actually pretty good. I also really like The Social Network with Jesse Eisenberg playing Mark Zuckerberg. I also like that too.
You know, I'm trying to think if I've seen because unfortunately I think I missed The Social Network when it came out. Like there are certain films that fell into that category when I didn't have a whole lot of money and then I didn't have a car. And so there are some that I missed during that phase. I'm trying to think of one that would be okay. I don't know if this will count or not. I don't think Ex Machina counts. I was thinking as far as like having this business connected to what he was building with the central character. But I think that's the only thing I could think of. Unfortunately,
I also like the Apple movie with Michael Fassbender playing Steve Jobs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next too. I know that's probably a good one.
The one with Ashton Kutcher's okay, but I prefer Michael Fassbender playing Steve Jobs than Ashton Kutcher.
I just remembered one. Actually, I think it's two, but Coco Before Chanel with Audrey Tautou, and then there's another story about Coco Chanel that has Shirley MacLaine in it. And I really enjoyed both of those because Coco Chanel, of course, is a very iconic figure, but there was something just very unique and very interesting about watching her like kind of go from rags to riches and build this brand, especially when it was kind of the antithesis of, you know, femininity and how women operated in society and things like that. So I really love that.
Yeah, I like that movie too. I know many do superhero projects in the works, but there isn't any in the works that y'all like to see.
Really, now this is assuming it's not in the works already, but really anything X-Men related. I would love to see something with I would love to see something with Mr. Sinister or the Shi'ar, like all of these massive, you know, something with a story about the Phoenix or an origin story about Storm and the Shadow King. There is so much you can do with and even some of just there are characters that by themselves have these crazy histories. Even Mystique, like she has this, you know, this crazy backstory that's going on. So really any X-Men story I'm here for, but definitely like Storm, Mystique, and then Gambit. Like and do not cast Channing Tatum as Gambit. Like you can find whoever you want, but Channing Tatum is not Gambit. Stop it.
I would love to see Gambit's my favorite X-Men, so I would love to see Gambit as X-Men. As an X-Men like backstory, how he became Gambit or like some of his like things, you know.
Right.
I just think that would be kind of interesting, but I don't know about Channing Tatum playing him. I don't think he would work, like, even if they are going to meet, like the MCU and X-Men meet together, you know, because it's part of the Marvel, they're part of Marvel, but I don't know how that would work.
Right. He just doesn't
Yeah.
fit at all.
I don't know if you guys are into this at all, but I'll shoot Oscar predictions.
I'm always bad with Oscar predictions, so I don't
Me
really
too.
do them. But I would say, as far as Best Supporting Actress, I'm leaning towards Ariana DeBose to win for Best Supporting Actress. I mean, even before the film came out, just from the trailer, I was like, I think I'm going to absolutely love her in this role, and I thought she did an excellent job. As far as the other categories, it's hard because there are people who are good at like analyzing, like, yes, this is like we have this person in mind, and this person has put in the work, and this is who deserves it. So that's a tough one for me. But at the very least, I do know that Ariana DeBose definitely deserves her nomination, and I would love to see her win.
Yeah, I do like Channing Tatum in the 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street with Jonah Hill. But
oh yeah, I thought he was great in that. Yeah.
And I also liked him in Step Up, but that was about it.
Right.
I'm so bad, aren't I? Same. And then, yeah, I haven't really seen any of the newer movies besides Encanto and the Internals this year because I haven't been back to the movie theater. So you guys are beating me more than anything. So you guys would more about the Oscars than I would. And then I was saying he's more about the Razzies, the nominations.
Yeah. I will say also with Best Picture, for some reason I feel like Belfast might be the one. And potentially West Side Story could steal it, but it just seems like Belfast is a film that was kind of made to win at the Oscars. So
Right, yeah, I want to see Belfast. It's on Amazon Prime for like $30, and I'm like, I'm not buying it for $30.
Absolutely not.
I'll wait for it when it's like $5 or something, and then I'll watch it. Because down here in Florida, we have a lot more cases, so that's why I don't that's why I have not been back to the movie theater, because I live with people that have conditions, so I try not to go to too many big places if I can avoid it. I liked him in Magic Mike, but he was just being Channing Tatum in Magic Mike.
And for obvious reasons, I had no desire to see Magic Mike. I just think I was not the demographic for Magic Mike.
All right. But I'm just saying he's just playing Channing Tatum in Magic Mike. If you look at Channing Tatum and Step Up, he's the same character in Magic Mike.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah.
I just watched it because Matt Bomer was in Magic Mike. That's the only reason why I watched it.
Right.
The first one, Matt Bomer was in the first one, so that's why I watched it. But I did like him in when he had that scene in American Horror Story. That was good.
Oh, Matt Bomer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
An American Horror Story, he was good. And then I also really liked him. I also really liked him in White Collar. Have you ever seen that show?
No, I have to check that one out.
That show's really good. Yeah, and John says, it's been getting a little bit crowded and everything as well. 21 Jump Street. I want to see Belle though. I love American Horror Story.
Sorry. Go ahead.
The one where is the circus one was actually filmed where I work in Jupiter, Florida. So I got to meet the actors.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, American Horror Story. It is an enjoyable series. I love the fact that it's anthology and the fact that it's something different, every season. I think that's really, really fun. Right. I think some seasons are better than others. Some are just like, why did we do this? Right. But I would say the first three are probably the best in my opinion, and I really like Murder House probably the most. That's the one that feels the most like we knew what we were doing at the beginning, and then for the most part, we kind of told a
Right.
true story. With some of the other ones, they kind of get lost in the sauce and they do too much, and it feels
Mhm.
clear that what is at the end, like there were rewrites and things that happened, and then we don't know how to close it out. So
Right. No, Jen, I liked Magic Mike. It's just Channing Tatum kind of plays the same like characters because he's a really good dancer, but he plays some of the same kind of characters in Magic Mike. I don't have a problem with the movie at all. I liked it, but I just, and Matthew McConaughey's favorite lines, all right, all right.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it went downhill. Yeah, I agree. And then the same thing with Supernatural. I don't know if you ever seen that show. Have you?
I haven't seen Supernatural, but I know it's been on forever, and I've kind of heard something similar.
So the the first three seasons are the best seasons, and then after that, it goes weird on a weird like tangent to it goes like there's angels and demons and stuff now, and one of them is an archangel down to earth and stuff. Hey, Jamie, how are you?
Hey,
And so it just kind of gets overbearing, and then they bring all this different stuff in it, but all the other stuff were the first three seasons are about like lores and stuff, which
right.
is interesting with like the woman in white. So basically it's like it's one of the episodes in the first season, and the woman in white is the I think it's the first episode actually, is about this like this woman and her husband like abused her and stuff, and then she's like and waiting, and she like kills these guys that cheat on their like boyfriends or husbands or something, and it's just like really interesting, but it's by the same people that made X-Files.
Oh, okay, cool.
So if you like X-Files, then you might like that show.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's on Netflix. You can watch all the seasons on Netflix. But yeah, so um what made you love movies the most?
I think what really made me love movies, I kind of mentioned the whole piece about being, um, I mentioned the whole piece about being a reader at an early age. And I think the thing with books, of course, there were children's books, but I remember very early on, like I was reading Goosebumps at like 5 and 6. And so, there are no pictures outside of the cover. And so you're forced to develop imagination and understand, like, what do these characters look like? What shapes them? What drives them? Like, what would this look like? And
Mhm.
how would this, just seeing those things visually in my mind. And I think with movies, they had their hand in developing imagination, because you look at something like, I'll never forget watching, as I mentioned, with Beauty and the Beast, the first time seeing that first shot of the Beast's castle from far away, and then we
Mhm.
slowly pan in, and then we see the stained glass. Or with Titanic, the first time Rose is telling her story, and then it fades into the screen, and then we're transported back to 1912. And for me, film is always something that is so. I know escapism is the word, but
Mhm.
and it's not always to escape from something, but it's just to be transported in that way into these worlds, into these characters, into these places that we can't access anymore. That's another reason why I love period pieces.
Right.
1912 and 1940s. There are all these eras and cultures and people that don't exist anymore. But in these films, we are instantly boom, like we're there.
Right.
We get to experience that journey, the highs, the lows, the joys, the sorrows, all of that. And so that's
Mhm.
why film is impactful for me. And I think there are times, even when I can be down or have my moments and I'm sad, where when I think of that, it can bring to mind really beautiful memories. I just happened to catch this morning the end of Jurassic Park, and that brought me right back to when I was 3 years old. In my
Mhm.
apartment, in my mom's deluxe apartment in Gary, Indiana, just with not a care in the world. It's just the power of cinema. So that's
Right.
why I love it.
I agree. Like I've had ups and downs and lows, and I just like either a book or a movie will set me back up and I'm straight for the rest of the day, just because you go on the journey and you're just like, where does this journey end? I don't want it to end, especially if it's a good movie or a good book that you're reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about American Horror Story. Yeah, Cult I didn't like as much as the other ones. I agree with you.
Yeah, my issue, it kind of reminds me of when Once Upon a Time, purposely, their fourth season, they decided to do a whole arc about Frozen because Frozen was popular at the time. Like, they were like, hey, let's just bring that into the show. And so, same thing with American Horror Story. It's like, look, we know what's going on in the real world. We do not need to bring that onto this show. Like, the idea of the cults and all that, that's interesting enough on itself. Please don't add current political issues into this. Like,
Right.
it was interesting, and I think Evan Peters, like, his performance of that character was probably one of his, if not the best. I don't know if I would say it's the best out of all of them, but his performance was actually great. But it was such a frustrating season to watch because it's like, this is too close to home. So
Right, yeah. Oh yeah, I loved Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark? I used to watch those all the time.
Oh, same here, because I was watching Are You Afraid of the Dark before Goosebumps, because I think the books came out like somewhat. After I started reading the books after I was already watching Are You Afraid of the Dark. So no, Are You Afraid of the Dark was definitely superior.
Yeah, power of books and movie of mine as well. Yeah, I think we all can relate in the movie community, really, because we all like the same stuff, or we all like similar taste in movies and books and stuff. I think.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, sometimes we may not like the same thing if we watch the same movie. We have all different opinions on it, and that's what makes us unique. Always, I always tell people, tell people your opinions because they matter.
Right. Absolutely. I remember, I believe it was, I was probably going to make a post about this one day, but I just know, I think I did a review on Respect, which is the Aretha Franklin biopic. And then somebody jumped, and I've only had one situation like this, but somebody jumped in the comments and they were just like, don't let these reviewers lie to you. How can you watch this film and not throw up? I was like, okay. And
Right.
so there are a lot of different ways I could have responded to that,
Yeah.
right?
Like, I had to go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
No, you can. Go ahead, say what you're gonna say.
There are a lot of different ways I could have responded to that, but ultimately I responded back and I was like, listen, film is subjective and we're not always going to have the same opinions. I understand you didn't like the film, and I did, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree without being inflammatory or insulting. Have a blessed day.
Right, exactly.
And that was it.
I had somebody, the movie King Richard about Venus and Serena Williams that came out like a month or two ago. I said the movie was just a little bit too long for me because it was 2 hours, and I thought they could take some of the movie off, but I understand why it had to be long. And right. I had somebody come on there and go, what do you mean? That's an insult to this movie and stuff like that. I'm like, I just said it was a little long for my personal self. I didn't say anything bad about the movie. Right. I was just like, it's just a little long to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're not all supposed, the way the world would be if we all thought one way.
Yeah, it would be boring, I think.
Very.
What movie would you recommend to someone who only sees a movie as a background noise, not a deep? That's a hard question.
Well, I guess it depends, John, because it can either be a film that can because I don't know, either it's a film that they can just kind of watch and it's just kind of like an easy, no stakes. If you're saying something like that, then I think something like Clash of the Titans. I think that's a film that I enjoy. Everyone talks about how bad it is, but I love Greek mythology. I love Zeus and the Greek gods and goddesses and the creatures, Medusa. I love Greek mythology. And so it's a film that I enjoy. They could have done a lot more with that. And I think part of the problem is, and I didn't realize this, but there's the original Clash of the Titans. So we also are operating in the shadow of that film, which I didn't know at the time. But that's a film that I think you can just watch, and it's just fun. It's just a fun time, fun, cool creatures, cool characters.
Yeah, I agree. Have you seen the Percy Jackson series? Did you like those?
No, because I remember when the books came out. I don't know if I don't think I was too old, but I think by the time I found out about them, I kind of had aged out of young adult, even though I can still read young adult whenever. But I
Hmm.
think my taste had kind of moved past it at that point. But as far as the films, I had heard mixed things, so I didn't get a chance to see them.
I read the books, and then he also has a series where it's Percy Jackson as well, but he went into Roman mythology, and then they also have a books. I wish they would do the movies on these books, and then he went into Egyptian mythology as well.
And with Jamie, with what you're saying, I feel the exact same way. It's about that's
Mhm.
why in film, what always stands out to me, along with writing, is storytelling. Like when that's the most significant part of a film, it always pulls me in. When it's everything but the storytelling, I usually don't click
Mhm.
with it. So I absolutely have the same experience.
Oh, he meant what do you show a movie like my fiance, he's not a movie person.
Right.
So I showed him all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and he actually sat there and watched them.
Yeah. I had a feeling, John. That's why I was like, I could see it being what you said. Also, I would say because I've actually done this before. Whenever I've done movie nights, I'll ask people like, "What's your favorite genre? What's your least favorite genre? What type of film are you not into?" Because yes, I enjoy like if I have people who are willing to take the journey and kind of like take a leap, then we can do that. But ultimately, I want you to have a fun experience. So if we have to lean a little closer to something you're more into, then we can just do that. So I would say a good one if this isn't too old, which it's not to me. But I think a film like Jurassic Park. I feel like Jurassic Park is such a film. My mom was even just saying that she was like, this film was really ahead of its time, and I feel like it's a
It is.
timeless film. And no matter it being made in the early '90s, I feel like Jurassic Park is just a film you can easily enjoy. So
Anybody can enjoy Jurassic Park, I think,
yeah,
as well. I mean, like, because a lot of people are into dinosaurs and stuff, so anybody could really enjoy that movie. And Steven Spielberg is like such like a really good director as well.
absolutely, yeah,
You know, just like he did E.T. and that's a classic film as well,
right.
and it still holds up today. The ride not so much, but the movie
I
does.
know. Yeah, but it's hard with the ride because it's still nostalgia. It's a lot of nostalgia with the ride. Like when I walk into that studio, and even the smell, I was like, oh my gosh, this just being inside takes me back.
Well, that's the only original thing at Universal Studios.
Which I have an issue with, but
But yeah, that's the only. I mean, like, I know they updated some of it, but still, I think they need to update it a little bit better.
yeah, it's very old. It's very old.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a fun like little ride to go on,
Yeah. Mhm.
and there's just so many like directors and everything. Et smells amazing.
I'm telling you, there is something very like it just I don't know it clicks somewhere in my mind whenever I step in. I'm like, yes, yes. I don't know what that
Well,
is.
if you ever go to Animal Kingdom and you go into Avatar Land, that ride, Flight of Passage, smells the same way as Et a little bit.
Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
I gotta check out that. You know what? And I actually forgot until you said it. I forgot that. I don't know if Pandora is the land or whatever, but Avatar, yeah, I forgot that they had the attractions and had a place there.
Pandora's. I actually don't really like Avatar. I'm probably one of the only people that really don't actually like Avatar, but the world is really cool.
Yeah, and I think that happens sometimes. It's like I'm not really into the specific story of this, but sometimes just the universe in which something is set in is really really
Mhm.
fun.
But I mean, like, I'll watch the second one whenever James Cameron decides to make it.
Oh gosh, it's been. I mean, I literally. I'm pretty sure if I wasn't, was I in high school? I might have been in high school when the first one came. Yeah, yeah. It's been a long time.
John, you're cracking me up right now. Smell black.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much for
I
that.
don't. I don't think they have that because they couldn't keep up. Uh, I I didn't either, or James Cameron really. I like some of his movies. I like Titanic. Some of his movies are okay. I know on Disney Plus they actually did a documentary on the Neo Geographic side, and James Cameron was along with them. They went back to revisit the Titanic, and they recreated the Titanic ship and everything, and it was really cool.
Oh, I have to watch that. I love that.
It was really cool to see like them going back to the ship and everything from like I think it was like 10 years from when they filmed the film or something, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
You smell rides? I don't get it, but yeah, rides scare me.
Not literally, like just the place, just like the like whatever the environment is, like you can just like if you step in the door, like it hits you like immediately.
They have like smell machines. That's what it is. Smell machines.
Right.
I'm moving to Florida because every time John and anyone talks about Disney or Universal, I want to go. Come on down, Dan. Come on down.
Yeah, we gotta do some kind of little trip.
We will. John and I, if y'all come, let us know. We'll come meet you. We'll show you the Florida way of doing Universal and Disney.
Okay. Hey, I'm down.
You know. All right, guys. We've been on for 2 hours and 10 minutes, and so where can everybody find you, D?
Everyone can find me at D MovieMan. That is capital D period space capital MovieMan on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter at MovieManD, capital M, MovieMan, and then the letter D. And then on Instagram, it is all no caps, D MovieMan. And I post, just post some updates as far as movies I'm doing. I'm trying to work on getting into more kind of like maybe movie news and things like that. So we'll see.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, John. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon, everybody. And I will see you on the next interview I have. And I will link all of D's stuff down in the comments below in the description box, so that way you guys can check him out and enjoy your day. Bye, everybody.
Thank you guys. Good to see you.